we've got stuff going on in the pan right now, Mike. What do we have in the pan? This is leftover sausage, right?
If you have leftover sausage, what you're going to do is just combine it in the plate with some onions and your rice and sauce, depending on how much meat to rice that you like. We're using Spanish rice, but if you're starting from scratch, what I want to show the folks,
raw sausage
here you have some raw sausage, and here's a quick little tip. You might want to freeze it, put it in the freezer for a little while. This way, you can just sort of go right down, and this
so
knife is
lengthwise with the knife.
Right.
Wow.
See, if it's a little tempered, it's a lot easier to pull this right off.
So if it's stiffer, then it won't.
Exactly.
It comes right up. That's pretty easy.
Right.
Okay.
Then you throw that right in your pan, and you start browning it with your onions. And again, like we said in the earlier segment, the sausage provides all the flavor and the spice.
It's got everything in it already.
Really depends what you want to do. We're going to add some rice to this now.
Okay. Now that's Spanish rice you were saying, right?
We're using Spanish
rice. You
rice.
can use any kind
white
of rice.
Brown rice, whole grain, whatever your preference is.
Right. Now that's cooked. You're going to put it in the pan.
Right.
You have a little tomato sauce in that?
We do. Right here, we're going to, it depends how, you were saying when you did it was dry.
Mine have come out a little dry, so
you add the liquid as you feel fit, and then at the end, when you pull it out of the oven, you're going to add a little bit more too.
On top.
And then we have my go-to item that we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
In case you really don't know how to cook like I don't, you add this at the very end. So if you want to start cutting peppers, and you want to start with the Cubanelle, I showed you how to.
Okay, I'll start with this guy. Well, actually, this one's already open, so let's.
We'll show them that.
That's how we do it.
So cut 3/4 of the way there.
Cut right down there, and then I go down the length.
You got it.
Right there. Okay. And this is it looks like a spicy pepper, but it's definitely not.
This is not. That's a mild pepper. Now you're going to just open it. Now pull that part out. Just that stem in there.
Pull that stem right out. Okay.
You didn't go to medical school, did you?
No. That's a good thing. You wouldn't want me performing any kind of surgery.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you want,
get these guys out.
You've got your spoon there.
Yep.
You can start stuffing, and I'll start cutting those.
Sounds good. Now this is the rice and the meat and everything, all the sausage right there.
Now those long guys go in here. Let me give a little spritz to the.
And you basically just put a little olive oil in the pan, right? When you start out here, when you're doing this, right? Okay.
So you're going to throw those in here.
Okay. Now these will bake right in the shell.
Yes.
Okay. Look at that. That looks great
Got it?
there. Get another one stuffed. And what are you cutting right now?
Now I'm going to cut the bell pepper. We're going to do it 2 different ways. I'll first do it the traditional way. We're going to cut the top off.
Okay.
And we're going to pull that right out.
This is great. And for somebody that's never stuffed a pepper, really, you're making it look pretty easy because it is pretty easy.
Well, I've practiced for days and days. Now, these have all been washed, so then you're going to stuff that one.
Another important thing, always wash the vegetables. Right. People always, like you were saying, think meat and salmonella, but vegetables can also contribute to that
see,
as well.
when you just cut that top off, you can take that whole stem out
one time.
Pop all your little
I'm going to stuff this
seeds
as well.
out. Yes, you are. And you look like you're running out of some stuff, but we've got plenty more.
You can put more in the pan, and we've got 2 different kinds of peppers here we're cooking with today, which is great.
And then we're going to pop this one in half this way, Joe, as I spray everybody here with the seeds. And keep popping that.
It does smell great, I got to tell you.
There you go. You can stuff those, and I'll get you some more stuffing in here.
And for these, you want to use a more square type of dish, right? And just put it on the side.
Stand it up.
Stand it up. Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense.
The ones that are cut on the side. Here, let me do that for you.
Okay, these will definitely stand up nice. Right. We also have a turkey. Is that a turkey patty?
That's a chicken spinach and feta. Okay. And that later we're going to make a bread out of it.
Okay.
And again, this is a use of it's not necessarily just for leftovers, but a different application of sausage.
That's right, for sure.
Everybody wants to use sausage just in a sandwich, and it's much more versatile than that. Here we go with a little of our liquid.
And you guys, obviously, you have a cookbook, and there's a ton of recipes in there, including a dessert one.
Right.
Tell us about that real quick. We're talking sausage for dessert.
Well, it's not like we reinvented the wheel. It's mincemeat pie, except we're using sausage.
Well, there you go. But that's a smart move. It's another way to use the sausage, which you also said is full of flavor, which is makes it a lot easier than having to add 1,000 spices and stuff to your whole dish.
And one of the things I did want to talk about, Joe, is when you're cooking sausage, the most important thing to have is this thing right here, a thermometer.
Yes, we did talk about that. That was another useful tool you can use to make sure that everything is cooked right. So what are we looking at for temperature?
Temperature-wise, at least 160 on your poultry and 150 on your pork. Now, if you don't have the luxury of having a thermometer, which you should have, make sure you get one.
Now, the digital one, or does it matter?
It doesn't make a difference, as long as you know it's calibrated and it's working.
Right.
But more, if you're unsure, when you're cooking it, when your liquid is running clear, that means it's cooked. If the liquid is pink, that means it's not cooked.
Oh.
So just take a look at that. The other thing, too, is when you're cooking, don't poke. Don't ever poke. Just let it sit there and cook slow and low temperature when you're cooking sausages.
Leave it alone, basically.
And most people are intimidated by it, but if you're doing something for a big party, go to get some cookie sheets. Put water in it. You can cook them a day ahead of time, about 350 for 20 minutes. Then the next day, throw them on your grill to brown them up, and they're all set to go. All right, let's show everybody the finished product. We got about a minute left. We've stuffed our peppers here, but we're going to show you what they look like when they're all done. Okay. We got them in the oven, right? You do. Let's do it. You got a mitt. Okay. Don't burn yourself. I need a mitt. Let's go. All right. Now, let's tell everybody what we've been cooking here, just to give them a refresher. We've got the Cubanelles here. These are beautiful. Let's see. Where can we put these? On the stove. Yeah, put them right here on the stove. Look at that. Some room. Those are beautiful. Now, how long and what temperature? You want to start the bells, and you can cover them for about 15 minutes at 400 degrees. And I guess you guys have all the cooking instructions on the website or something. That's right, we will. And then uncover them and cook them at about 350 for about an hour. All right. Now, as they come out, as you were talking about, they were a little dry. Right, so you're going to reapply a little. So you're just going to do a little bit of that. A little bit of that is great. And we've got a second helping coming up. It's in the oven right now. We're going to show everybody that. And you guys are also at the Italian Fest this week, so if you like what you see, you're going to see a lot more of this. A lot more of those, I'm hoping, and hope you guys give us some good weather. Absolutely. That's Mike's job, but we'll talk to him later about that. Back to you guys on the couch.